baby. Let's ride. Keep bringing it every day. I said it.
November, and that means the basketball is here, and that means that we have our first Katie Gearlds Show, not only of the season, but in history. So how about before we start, a round of applause for our new head basketball coach, Katie Gearlds.
We're going to be talking Boilermaker hoops with the head coach up until the top of the hour. We got a lot to go over tonight, and we're also going to hear from Cassidy Harden a little bit later on in the show, one of her senior players from Barkersville, Indiana. So Cassidy will be joining us in a segment or two a little bit later on. When we come back, we'll have Katie. Now, again, we're on Facebook Live. We're on the Purdue Athletic site, so if you want to follow along and watch us, you can send us a message from where you are dialing in from or watching from. And if you have a question for Coach Gearlds, feel free to ask it. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach. It is the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. And this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Senior season, that's what he wants for his quarterback, Adrian Martinez.
Picked off and intercepted. Jalen Graham to the house. And just like that, Purdue strikes.
Touchdown, Purdue.
And this Purdue defense has made a living off of big plays this year. You go back to Karloftis and the fumble return for a touchdown against Wisconsin last week in the first half. Horvath, the full head of steam for the Boilermakers touchdown. Now that's one way to do it. O'Connell, end zone, touchdown, wide open in the back. Milton Wright. Purdue in front for the first time, under 3 to go in our third quarter. O'Connell, end zone, touchdown Purdue, Jackson Anthrop. A brilliant play call and design, better execution. From West Lafayette, 6th year of eligibility, first touchdown.
How about them Boilermakers?
Came back into this environment, you played against a good team that was playing well, and really you kicked their tail pretty daggone good, okay? You played to the end, okay? We talked about give everything you got and have no let up, okay? And you guys did it. Every one of you on the field, everyone on the sideline, okay? And that's what it's about. If you just worry about that, good things will happen. Maybe not every single time, but more than likely it will. So that's all you got to do. You got to stay together. You got to understand the small things it takes to be great, and just go about it every day. But I couldn't be proud of you guys, okay? Tremendous effort, tremendous win. Congratulations, and great job. Let's count it down. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Wolfies Grill with the largest view of the game outside of Mackey Arena. You know, Katie asked me before we went on, did you ever think you'd be saying, welcome to the Katie Gearlds Show? I believe anything in life is possible. Welcome, and it's about time, right? 9 days till the regular season opener.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of surreal. I was, went home after practice, and I'm getting ready, and I'm like, well, last time I think I came to the show was when Christy was coaching, and I was, what Cass is getting ready to come up here and do, but little surreal, but damn, it feels like home.
That was many restaurants and many years ago. I don't know where we were at that point, but we've been all over the place. Happy to be here at Wolfies this year. Let's talk about the path that got you here, because this was supposed to be a year in waiting. You were going to be the associate head coach and then take over at the end of this season. Coach Versup decided to retire earlier, and here you are. And I think it would be right for us to mention Coach Versup, the impact that she had on the program and on you personally, getting you to this point, not only as a player, but also as a head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can take it back to when I played for, obviously heartbroken when Christy left to go to Texas Tech, but then when Coach Versup comes in, I've said all the time, and I truly mean it, that my number hangs in the rafters because I had the opportunity to play for Sharon. Coach kind of just took me to another level, ran me off a lot of screens, kind of the same way we're hoping to do for Cass and Madison, run them off a couple screens and get them some open shots. But, You know, when she approached me 4 or 5 years ago, I wasn't ready. I wanted to keep growing as a head coach, and then this year was just something I couldn't pass up. You know, and it went really fast, right? Like the summer went fast, and then obviously, you know, 6 months later, I'm thinking I'm going to coach alongside her, and you know, bam! I honestly, I think, you know, her and I still talk about it. She's like, Katie, you're ready. You know, I thought it was going to take a year to get you ready, but you're ready. You were born for this, and I really actually mean that. I think I was born to walk the sidelines of Mackey Arena.
Now, you weren't sure that coaching was in your future, though, really. I mean, when did the coaching thing started to hit after you finished your playing days, or I guess at the tail end of your playing days?
Yeah, two things. I was playing with Sue Bird, and obviously one of the best point guards to ever play our game. She comes over to me, and you know, here I am playing the Seattle Storm. I was just getting paid to come in off the bench and make a shot.
Take those shots.
You know, that's what they were paying me to do that. So I didn't see a lot of playing time, but she comes in. You know, she comes out of the game, and she was always asking me, you know, what do you see? And I was like, okay, if this woman thinks that I know what I'm doing, then maybe I actually do. And then the second time we were in Spain, and you know, quite frankly, didn't have a great coach. And I called my team into practice, and we started changing plays. You know, he called 5 up, and I changed to something else. And, you know, hopefully our team doesn't get any ideas here. But, you know, we run 5 up, and we score, but we run it, you know, like my way. We score on it, and he's over there high-fiving, like, oh, I did that. And no, it wasn't that. But I think that's probably when it all clicked for me.
For those who aren't familiar with your path, then coming to Marian University, an NAIA school where you won 2 national championships, you had an incredible winning percentage. What were you able to learn down there that you can apply as a head coach here at Purdue?
Get really good players.
Yep, that's always a key.
Get really good players, and they make you look good. I think that's what it comes down to. You've got to have young women out there who are going to compete every day, but also who are very, very skilled. And you know, no matter how dumb the coach is over there, the really good players are going to win basketball games for you.
You also mentioned, though, that your first year you had a lot of close games at Marian, and you had a hard time winning some of those. As a player, you have to learn how to close games out, and I think as a coach, you have to do the same thing.
Yeah, we lost 7 games by a total of 16 points. And you know, I still remember all of them, right, to this day. You know, what could I have done differently? Timeout differently, play execution, you know, drawing up something differently. So we go 16-16 my first year. Next year we go 28-6. The next year we go 32-6 and win a national championship. So I think I figured things out pretty quickly.
You did, but you've always been driven by a lot of inner forces. And I go back to I told you about this earlier. Your freshman year, your team played Georgia in the Sweet 16 up in Seattle, and it was a game that Purdue had a chance to win and lost late. And you had a screensaver of somebody shooting a shot over you late in the game that you kept on your computer for an entire year.
Yeah, I think it was tied 62-62 or 64-64, and she took 2 dribbles to the baseline and hit a fadeaway over my outstretched hand, and so they end up winning 66-64. I know we lost by 2, but that team was really special, and that hurt because I wanted so badly to win for Reek and Beth and Erica and Linz. You know, that one really hurt, and it is, you know, like I think, you know, we're as humans, we all want to, you know, be better, but, you know, I'm just driven by past failures, and I just want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
All right, we're coming to you from Wolfies. We'll have more of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
knew before the match, I knew all week that we were ready. There were things I saw since that Michigan State match that have really impressed me, just in the way that some people have just been really getting better. Raven Colvin playing like she's a 7. Talking about somebody that sets the tone. She set the tone early, and she set it in the middle, and she set it at the end.
Welcome back to Wolfies. It is the Katie Gearlds Show. We're at Wolfies where OG Dave and all the folks take great care of us every week. And we got a lot going on here at the restaurant this week. Not only we had Matt Painter on just before this, but we'll have Jeff Brom on this Wednesday. And November's a busy month. A lot of activity going on. A lot of activity tonight on our Facebook feed. Hello from Sheridan, Michigan. Excited for the first Gearlds Show. We all are. We have John from Pennsylvania, boiling up in Littlestown, Pennsylvania. So glad you're our coach. I'm looking forward to the great things you'll do. Chris in Richardson, Texas. Welcome, Coach. Looking forward to the season. Now, here's your first question. John from South Bend wants to know if there are any thoughts on adding Notre Dame back to the schedule in the upcoming years.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? I think you play anybody anywhere, right? You want to get yourself back on the national scene, and you play anybody anywhere. We'll go ask Jaden if Coach Ivy is interested in getting that started. But I think it's just good for our game, right? Good for the state of Indiana.
Get a twofer.
Absolutely.
Maybe, let the guys play too. Kent says, good luck, Katie. Your grandpa Reggie is smiling in heaven, ready to watch your success. Aaron, my son, is watching from Evanston, Illinois, excited for the program in the coming months and years. Karen says, so excited for the season. And Tim Potts in Fort Wayne, boiler up, great to see you back in Mackey. It is great to see you back in Mackey. So let's talk about this team that you've got. You've got a few days left before your exhibition game on Sunday. You've got 9 days left before you start the regular season. Tell us about the state of your team today as we talk on November 1st.
Yeah, first of all, shout out to my staff over here in the corner holding it down. Appreciate y'all being here, Alex, Michael. I know Beth is out recruiting, but she'd be here too. But they've been great. They've been great for me. They've kind of kept me in check and making sure I'm dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's. But we are where we are right now. Obviously, with Coach retiring in the middle of September, it was just kind of like, hey, we got to flip the page and we've got to do things the way I would want as a head coach, and it probably set us back a couple months because some things we could have started to do this summer, but it's reality, and we're getting better. Every day I kind of just see, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like, and I think the squad is actually like, wow, like okay, this is it, and we're gonna fly around. Defensively and try to score some points on the offensive end from our defense. Right now we're just gonna be a little stagnant in the half court, but if we can get some things going in the open court, that's what we prefer right now. We're gonna expect a lot from Madison. He's a second-year player, all freshman. She's gonna have to come in and score, and she's been really aggressive, not settling so much for a three-point shot. She's kind of putting the ball on the floor, and we're going to challenge her to get to the free throw line and take mid-range jumpers and, create for other people. But, Cass Harden has been shooting lights out. We had a close scrimmage the other day, and she made 6 of 8, I think, from the three. So I think 5 in the first half, and it was just, really, really good stuff, step-back threes. And, she just kind of looks a little bit liberated out there, a little bit free to shoot the basketball. And, we tell them all the time, and I mean this wholeheartedly, shoot it before you turn it over.
I think a lot of players are drawn to the idea of playing an up-tempo style of basketball where they can come down. I won't say freelance because there is a structure, there is a style that you want to play, but I would think it's a lot easier to attract players to that kind of a system.
Yeah, that's the idea. But last year at Marion, we averaged 80 points a game. I'm not saying that we're going to average 80 points a game this year, but that's the idea. We want to make sure we're getting enough shots up to score the basketball, and then making sure we're making the right people. Having the right people shoot the basketball. I think that's important too. I'm excited for what Janae Terry can bring to us, a transfer from Illinois. Abby Ellis is a transfer from Cal Poly, and you know, we've got some other pieces that we think that you know, they're going to slide in and you know, fill good spots for us. But right now, those four are just four we're going to really depend on, and then everybody else is just going to step up and, you know, just get the job done as we can.
You and I have talked a lot before this about how things have changed since you were a player, which doesn't seem all that long ago. But, you know, the Big Ten has changed, and now the transfer portal has changed the way things go in recruiting. You used to have to really hit the high school side, which you're still going to do, but now you can go in and get that Band-Aid or two that you need in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, too, especially for me right now. Trying to just kind of build this culture as we want and change, you know, kind of get back to what we were. Looking in the rafters today at Mackey, you know, we haven't won a Big Ten title since 2013, and it's just been too long. You know, Purdue has a recipe for success, and we know it's there. Purdue sells itself, and it's our job to go out and get players. Whether they're in the high school or from the portal, we've just got to make sure we do our due diligence to making sure we're getting the right kids in here that fit what the Purdue way is.
All right, we'll have more with 2 minutes on the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield. Presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Wolfies Grill with the largest view of the game outside of Mackey Arena. Before we get back to the coach, a quick housekeeping note. The exhibition game on Sunday is against Findlay. It's at 2 p.m. at Mackey Arena. That game will be on internet only. We will not be on Bob FM for that one. All of the regular season games will be on Bob FM starting on November 10th at Western Kentucky, but we are internet only. So go to PurdueSports.com. We'll be on at 2 o'clock. Jane Schott will join me, and we'll get our first sneak preview at this basketball team. Let's talk about that sneak preview. You have had a closed super secret scrimmage already. How many players can you play? How many players will you play early in the season? And in a perfect world, when you get down and get your rotation the way you want, do you have a number in mind of how many players you'd like to play?
I think we just play whoever's going to win the game for us. Honestly, you know, right now I think early we're still figuring a lot of things out. It's definitely rotation wise who fits best with whom right out there. In a perfect world, 8, 9 maybe. Yeah. Because of the up tempo style we want to play, you know, keeping around 7, 8 maybe. 7 is probably too little, but you know, 8, 9. You know, at Marion we were good enough and deep enough that we would go 10 deep sometimes, and not platooning, subbing or anything like that, but just keeping fresh bodies out there.
Ira checking in from Wisconsin says he knows that KG is going to be gangbusters. We agree. We do have a question here on defense. Are you mainly a man-to-man or a zone or both? What do you plan on playing on the defensive end?
What's defense? I played here for 4 years. Did anybody see me play defense?
It was defense. No D.
Offense only.
That's
no,
right.
No, we are strictly man-to-man right now. We have actually, and we're going to stick with that, and we're going to just try to keep getting better man-to-man. Obviously, we'll probably throw some things in there eventually, but right now we can't move on until our man-to-man is on point.
We talked about the transfer portal. You had some incoming players, and let's talk first about Janae Terry, a player that some of our fans will be familiar with because they've seen her play at the University of Illinois. What can she bring to your program, and what can she bring to this year's team?
Yeah, Janae gives us a playmaker out there. Her ability to create for herself, but more importantly, her ability to create for her teammates. We're going to be able to play her 1 through 4. She can battle inside, but really it's her court vision and her understanding of the game of basketball and how it's supposed to be played. Today we threw her at the point, and just her decision-making in transition was, she found Madison and found Cass, and then was able to hesitate and get to the rim and score with her strong body. So I think people, and then on top of that, her energy and excitement, her passion for love for the game of basketball. I mean, she's going to get an and one, and she's going to flex on somebody, and hopefully all Mackey Randon starts to flex right with her.
Abby Ellis comes from across the other pond in Australia. First Australian we've had in the program. Talk about her at the point.
Yeah, just full of energy. Literally never stops running, never stops moving. Talked to her today about, just over-helping sometimes. She's always wanting to fix everyone else's problems and, defensively, trying to correct everything instead of just trusting it. But she can score the ball from the outside. She's got this Euro finesse when she gets into the lane and the ability to create and score from different angles. Has a great mid-range game. But her ability to stretch the defense and shoot the ball from the outside is going to be huge for us.
And you brought in Mide from Northeastern, another player that gives you a little bit of length in the front court.
Yeah, just a versatile player. We can play her on the wing and play her inside. She posts really hard, runs the floor extremely well, can guard multiple positions. And we'll continue to work with her and her ability to stretch the defense and shooting the ball off the bounce. But right now it's just pure athleticism, and then the ability to guard multiple positions will be helpful for us.
All right, we're going to have a guest every week on the show, and our first guest is going to be Cassidy Harden. What can you tell me about her and how she has acclimated to the Katie Gearlds style of basketball?
Honestly, if you think about the Purdue way and every coach dreams of coaching a Cassidy Harden. And if you could have a team of 15 Cassidy Hardens, then you wouldn't have to worry about anything else. She just does it right, on and off the court. She's going to be an anesthesiologist one day. And then hopefully she just lights up Mackey Arena for us all year.
Hey, I've put a lot of people to sleep. I didn't have to get a degree for that, but we're going to talk to her in just a minute. We'll have more of the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. After this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Senior season, that's what he wants for his quarterback, Adrian Martinez.
Picked off and intercepted. Jalen Graham to the house. And just like that, Purdue strikes.
Touchdown, Purdue.
And this Purdue defense has made a living off of big plays this year. You go back to Karloftis and the fumble return for a touchdown against Wisconsin last week in the first half. Horvath, the full head of steam for the Boilermakers touchdown. Now that's one way to do it. O'Connell, end zone, touchdown, wide open in the back. Milton Wright. Purdue in front for the first time, under 3 to go in our third quarter. O'Connell, end zone, touchdown Purdue. Jackson Anthrop. A brilliant play call and design, better execution. From West Lafayette, 6th year of eligibility, first touchdown.
How about them Boilermakers? You came back into this environment, you played against a good team that was playing well, and really you kicked their tail pretty daggone good, okay? You played to the end, okay? We talked about give everything you got and have no let up, okay? And you guys did it. Every one of you on the field, everyone on the sideline, okay? And that's what it's about. If you just worry about that, good things will happen. Maybe not every single time, but more than likely it will. So that's all you got to do. You got to stay together. You got to understand the small things it takes to be great and just go about it every day. But I couldn't be proud of you guys, okay? Tremendous effort, tremendous win. Congratulations, and great job. Let's count it down. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Welcome back to Wolfies. It's time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler made. We have 5 former Purdue women's basketball players who are currently playing. Their seasons have started or are about to start overseas. KK Hauser is playing in Poland. She is through 3 games averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds, a little over 3 assists, and 2 steals per game. Ariana Harris is playing in Belgium. She has played 3 games so far, averaging just under 5 points and 3 rebounds a game. Sam Osterello playing in Italy. Her season has just started with 4 games. She's averaging about 3.5 points and 5 rebounds. And Aya Traore, and that's a name from the past, back when Christy Curry was the head coach here, originally from Senegal. She is now playing in Spain. She's been playing pro basketball for about 15 years, and she's doing very well, averaging more than 16 points and 6 rebounds a game. Andriana Keys has signed with a team in Romania, and her season will be getting started very soon. Joined by Cassidy Harden, and Cassidy is a senior from Bargersville, Indiana. She is a biochemistry major. She's originally from Center Grove High School. We're going to get into your career aspirations here shortly, but talk about your high school days and the fact that you were a little bit unusual. A lot of basketball players will either play softball or run track, but you did the basketball-tennis combination. Now, where did that come from?
Growing up, I always played multiple sports. My parents kind of put me in everything to try different things. And I knew if I wanted to pursue basketball seriously, and I also wanted to play another sport, I needed to do something where the travel times allowed me to do both. And tennis happened to be that sport where, you know, I was still enjoying it and liked it, and it also allowed me to play AAU basketball, which is a big time commitment. So that's kind of how I just always kept playing tennis on the side along with basketball.
Well, you got to be a pretty good tennis player because you won a state championship in doubles, right? What year in high school was that?
That was my junior year. So
now, did you carry your partner or vice versa, or was it a 50-50 combination? Let's be honest now.
Well, considering she's playing Division I tennis at Valparaiso right now, I think people would say she probably carried me.
You made her the player that she is.
I mean, I was the doubles specialist, so.
There you go. What aspects of tennis carried over into basketball? Was there carryover in terms of footwork, anything like that really helped you from one sport to the other?
I think it was just really helpful in general, playing another sport that has different movements. Like you said, different footwork, different things that I was able to work on that necessarily, like different muscles that I might not use as much in basketball. So it just kind of really helped me with being able to like translate the quick bursts of speed that I have to use in tennis than on the basketball court. So different things like that I feel like definitely helped me with basketball. One
of my roommates at Purdue was a biochemistry major, and I know he worked really hard while he was here. Why biochemistry?
Well, I'm planning to go to medical school, so obviously I wanted to stay in the science realm with my major, and there's a lot of options at Purdue. Purdue's a great school, but I really liked organic chemistry, which not a lot of people do, and so...
Have they taken your temperature yet today, Cassidy? That's a response we don't get from a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So biochemistry just seemed like the right fit for me to continue to pursue what I wanted to after college.
Give us an idea of some of the courses you have taken or some of the projects you've worked on as a biochemistry major.
I mean, I've taken 2 semesters of organic chemistry. I'm taking analytical chemistry right now. I've taken so many biology classes I can't even remember all of them. I also do research in Dr. Mezakar's lab, so I work on inhibitor binding assays with SARS-2 proteins. So
yeah, I think I did that my sophomore year, maybe.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty impressive. Anesthesiologist, medical school, what have you started to apply yet? Have you thought about what you're going to do? And also, the fact is that you could play another season. I mean, I don't know, a lot of decisions have to be made before at the end of the season, but what's the next couple of years hold for you?
Yeah, so I'm currently in the middle of applying to medical schools right now. My application's out, so just waiting to hear from different schools. I have an interview lined up with IU, which, you know, not everyone likes that response, but they have the only medical school in Indiana. So
you got to go where the credentials are. That's okay. We'll allow that. The judges will allow that one. Well, good luck to you, and we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about basketball here in the next segment, but it's also great to find out a little bit about your academic background. We are talking with Cassidy Harden. We'll have more with Cassidy after this timeout. It's the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Kevazia had a chance as well for Purdue, but here's Griffith with a shot to score! Number 15 for Sarah Griffith. And she breaks Bailey Kalinsky in the second half. 1-0 Purdue.
Griffith gets the ball out. They draw Ohio State's back line farther out to find some space. Patrick finds Lambert. Lambert gets it out wide to Jones, and then Jones floats this beautiful ball in. It gets headed out by Jones, and then Griffith finds the knockdown to bury that home. But Purdue finds themselves in great positions all throughout that sequence to be able to find this opportunity. And Griffith takes her touch, gets her head up, calmly places that in the back of the net.
Chance for Ohio State to Dukovic, right to Bova. And Ohio State runs out of time. Sarah Griffith with her Big Ten best 15th goal of the season leads Purdue to a 1-0 win over Ohio State in the quarterfinal, and the Boilers play Michigan on Thursday.
Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Wolfies Grill with the largest view of the game outside of Mackey Arena. By the way, congratulations to both the women's soccer team and the women's volleyball team. Great weekend for Purdue athletics. Friday night, women's swimming team knocks off Rutgers to get things started. Saturday, the football team goes to Nebraska and beats the Cornhuskers. Yesterday, the women's volleyball team knocks off number 3 Wisconsin, and then right after that, the soccer team wins a Big Ten tournament quarterfinal game against Ohio State. Has to be fun for you as a student athlete to be able to see the success of the other student athletes and maybe see if that can build on each other.
Yeah, I'm definitely a diehard Purdue fan, so any success in any sport is a win for me. And I actually live with a volleyball player, so it's just awesome when I can see Purdue having so much success in different sports.
Well, let's talk about what the women's basketball team has to do to have success in this season. Talking about the different style, the different coaching style, the different playing style that you're going to see this year.
Coach Gearlds is definitely, she wants to play fast. She wants to score a lot of points and get up and down the floor. I think energy is a big thing for her, and that's something that we're working on every day. We're definitely trying to get better every day, and her mantra kind of is to be really hard to beat. So even if we might not have as much talent as the team that we're playing, if we play hard and we do what we're supposed to and play smart, then we might get some wins that people don't expect us to.
You had a reputation coming in as a great three-point shooter, 8th in Indiana State history, 260 triples as a high school player. You've taken a lot of three-pointers here at Purdue. I'll talk about what you need to do aside from the three-point shots, which are a big part of your game. What do you need to add to this program?
Yeah, aside from threes, which is kind of what I do, I'm definitely trying to, be more versatile so that I'm not so easy to guard, shooting off the dribble some, and maybe throw in some jumpers in there too that people don't expect. So just also kind of being a calming presence on the court, getting everyone where they need to be. I think that will really help with the adjustment that my team is trying to go through.
You know, we were talking, and I've been talking with the football players all season long and the other sports about how difficult it was last year with almost empty stands to try to bring your own energy night after night. What do you think it's going to be like when you run through the tunnel this Sunday and then when you start the regular season and there are fans back in the stands?
It's going to be amazing. Just from an energy standpoint, like we're saying, that's something that we're trying to do this year. I think the fans give us so much energy. Their support has just always been amazing, and Mackey always draws a great crowd. So last year was definitely really tough when our team had to generate our own energy and kind of get hyped for each other. So I think having that support system back in Mackey is going to really make a difference for us.
Give us a player or two that you think will surprise people this year. Now, you're there every day working out with your team in practice. Maybe somebody that is under the radar or hasn't gotten the attention that others have that you think is going to have a breakout year, besides Cassidy Harden, of course.
Of course. Well, I mean, I think we have some really good transfers that people obviously don't know. I mean, Janae obviously played at Illinois, but now she's playing for us. And she's going to do a lot of good things for us. And then we also have, Abby Ellis, who's also a transfer that people and Purdue fans haven't seen her play before. So I think that both of them are definitely going to surprise some people, and they're really going to make a difference for our team.
Abby Ellis comes from Australia. Has she forced anybody on the team to try Vegemite yet?
Not yet, but we went to Australia for the foreign trip 2 years ago, and we had to try Vegemite, so I'm familiar with it.
Are you a thumbs up or thumbs down? It doesn't look like you're a big fan of it.
No, definite thumbs down.
A comment here from Facebook from Barb says, hey, Cass, I went to medical school at MSU after getting a BS in engineering at Purdue as the top of my class in both places, but my loyalty has always been with Boiler Nation. No apology needed if you want to go to IU Medical School, and I think we would share that opinion. Business is business. Pleasure is pleasure. Let's get the basketball out of the way and then go to the business after that. Cassidy, have a great senior season. Great to have you on the show, and good luck starting this Sunday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll have the head coach back. It's the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, and this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Senior season, that's what he wants for his quarterback, Adrian Martinez.
Picked off and intercepted. Jalen Graham to the house. And just like that, Purdue strikes.
Touchdown, Purdue.
And this Purdue defense has made a living off of big plays this year. You go back to Karloftis and the fumble return for a touchdown against Wisconsin last week in the first half. Horvath, the full head of steam for the Boilermakers touchdown. Now that's one way to do it. O'Connell, end zone, touchdown, wide open in the back. Milton Wright. Purdue in front for the first time, under 3 to go in our third quarter. O'Connell, end zone, touchdown Purdue. Jackson Anthrop. A brilliant play call and design, better execution. From West Lafayette, 6th year of eligibility, first touchdown.
How about the Boilermakers? Came back into this environment, you played against a good team that was playing well, and really you kicked their tail pretty daggone good, okay? You played to the end, okay? We talked about give everything you got and have no let up, okay? And you guys did it. Every one of you on the field, everyone on the sideline, okay? And that's what it's about. If you just worry about that, good things will happen. Maybe not every single time, but more than likely it will. So that's all you got to do. You got to stay together. You got to understand the small things it takes to be great, and just go about it every day. But couldn't be proud of you guys, okay? Tremendous effort, tremendous win. Congratulations, and great job. Let's count it down. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Welcome back to the Boilermakers against Findlay, the only exhibition game of the season, Sunday at 2 o'clock at Mackey. Again, that is on internet only. Go to PurdueSports.com, and you can click on the link there to listen to the game. And then the regular season opens November 10th at Western Kentucky. You've talked, Katie, about the whirlwind that you've had. What do you try to accomplish here in these 9 days leading up to that season opener?
I think these 9 days we just focus on getting better. Obviously, we're going to put a little scout together for Findlay, but we can't waste days right now of us getting better. obviously we want to try to win. It's been a while since fans have been in Mackey Arena, so hopefully we can put on a good show for everyone. But quite frankly, it's just we've got to continue to get better, and then we'll get ready for Western Kentucky. But right now, it's just the sole focus is who we are and what we want to be.
I asked Cassidy about coming out with fans for the first time. What's it going to be like for you wearing a not a uniform, but a coaching uniform and walking out on the floor, and you sit in the head coaching seat at Mackey Arena?
Yes, it's gonna be pretty surreal. I've actually had a countdown since Coach retired about my first walk down Mackey Tunnel as a head coach. But every day in practice, when we practice in Mackey, just walking through the tunnel, I still get these chills, right? And it's something I don't think it's ever gonna go away. And I think I've said it before, but when you fall in love for the first time and just that feeling just is there, and that's the feeling I get every time I walk down that tunnel, and I don't ever want it to go away.
When you take over a program, and you did it at Marion, you're doing it here, you have to do things step by step. You're a very competitive person. Is there any, do you worry about getting too impatient and trying to do things out of order? I mean, you've got to do step A before you can do step B, before you can do step C. I mean, everybody wants to win right away. There's no question about that. But you've got to build this the right way. How do you do that, and how do you maintain your calm and your composure to do that?
My sanity.
Your sanity.
How do I maintain
your sanity.
my sanity? It's Alex, it's Michael, it's Beth. I think they do a really good job of just keeping my head on straight. Obviously, you know me. I'm a competitor, and it's the way I was raised. I know my family's watching, but man, if we're playing euchre or whatever we're playing, I'm trying to beat somebody's butt, and it's going to be a process. I've never had a losing season. I don't intend on having a losing season this year. I don't think that's in the future for us. I think we're going to finish above 500. I think we've got a good enough team. I think our schedule is pretty favorable, honestly. But we're going to finish above 500. And I actually think, I'm stupid enough to think we're going to make the tournament.
You talked about the competitiveness, and you told me that came from an early age with your brothers and your sisters. Was there a particular time, a game, a backyard event that kind of snapped you and said, "Hey, I love this. I love competing against people. I love beating people." Or the other side, I really hate losing to people.
I think it was more hating losing than I did enjoy winning. Especially when I lost to my brother, man, that just tore me to pieces. And I know he's listening and watching right now, but honestly, I think I go back to when I played baseball growing up, and I was a pitcher, and I loved striking the boys out. Don't get me wrong, but when they got a hit on me, that just ate me alive, right? I'd have 13 strikeouts, but I come home and they'd have 2 hits on me, and all I could think about was those two hits. And I think it's just kind of ingrained in my family, the Swissler, the Gearlds family. We are just competitors. It's in the blood.
Well, that's a good thing. Again, if you can keep it under control, and I know you're going to have a lot of help on the sidelines to keep it under control. Are you? I have not seen you coach in person. Are you a coach that's going to get in the officials' ears a lot, or do you let them kind of do what they do? What's your demeanor on the sideline for those who have not seen you coach before?
I would say it's pretty calm. They're human and they're going to make mistakes. The biggest thing for me as a coach is if they're working to get in the right spots. If they're out of position, then I'm going to have a problem with it. At Marion, oftentimes we were out of position as referees. A couple times I had to call a timeout just so the referee could catch his breath. It's funny. He came over to me. He's like, "What do you want, a 30 or a full?" I said, "I don't know. I called this timeout for you. What do you want?" And that's just the way it was. And we've had a couple close scrimmages now, and I talked to a couple of the referees, and they're like, "Oh, you're awfully calm over here." And I said, "If I'm yelling on you, then you've definitely messed up."
So to avoid confusion for people going to Mackey Arena, I believe we still have 2 3-point lines on the court. Which one do you play?
We will play the longest one this year, the furthest one back. So I know we just didn't have the opportunity to take the shorter one off, but we will play the furthest one. It'll be interesting to see how many women and how many, well, maybe not the men, but how many women step on that sideline, because it is a shorter corner. But we will play the further one back, and then I think next summer we'll wipe that one clean.
Okay, so if you go to games, it's the back 3-point line. Don't yell at the official if they're in between and they don't give us 3 points.
You can still yell at the
official.
Well, that's
all right.
As long as it's the other team.
It's always allowed. All right, final segment of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union is coming up. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Kevazia had a chance as well for Purdue, but here's Griffith with a shot to score! Number 15 for Sarah Griffith. And she breaks Bailey Kolinski in the second half. 1-0 Purdue.
Griffith gets the ball out. They draw Ohio State's back line farther out to find some space. Patrick finds Lambert. Lambert gets it out wide to Jones, and then Jones floats this beautiful ball in. It gets headed out by Jones, and then Griffith finds the knockdown to bury that home. But Purdue finds themselves in great positions all throughout that sequence to be able to find this opportunity. And Griffith takes her touch, gets her head up, calmly places that in the back of the net.
Chance for Ohio State to Dukovic, right to Bova. And Ohio State runs out of time. Sarah Griffith with her Big Ten best 15th goal of the season leads Purdue to a 1-0 win over Ohio State in the quarterfinal, and the Boilers.
Welcome back to Wolfies. This week's game plan is presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, home of the official credit union for Purdue fans. Learn more at purduefed.com. Ordinarily, we would talk about your upcoming opponent, but I think right now the upcoming opponent is really Purdue because you're worried about yourself rather than Findlay. So let's talk about Purdue. The biggest things that you want to see, if when you come off the floor on Sunday, you're going to be happy if ...
Yeah, I think just our body language is huge for me. If a teammate gets knocked down, sprinting over to help her up, I think that's something that we talked about this summer. And man, if somebody gets knocked down in practice, all 12, 13 of them are sprinting over to pick her up, and I think that's a huge thing. It just kind of sends a message to unity. I want the ball to move. I think that'd be great. I mean, we always talk about how basketball is humbling, and you don't always make shots. But if the ball moves and you're getting right shots, you're setting good screens, as cliche as it sounds, just control the controllables. You dominate the glass, you don't give up second chance points, and then you just don't turn it over. Things that you can control is if we can do those things right, actually we'll have a pretty good chance of winning most nights if we can do those things.
Really quickly, Aya Traore, I mentioned she's still playing basketball. That's hard for me to believe. That's been a long not a long time.
Be careful, Tim.
It's been a while. It's been a while since she played here. What do you remember about her, quickly?
Oh, man. Quickly, she's still Boo. Like, I call her Boo. Last week was my birthday, and she texted me, "Happy birthday, Boo." I had a player at Marion that was from Senegal, and I reached out to Aya. She was one of those teammates that she was just going to do whatever it took to win. And as a friend now moving forward, she's somebody that I talk to regularly as a teammate moving forward, yeah.
Katie, show number 1 in the book. Only 200 or 300 more of these to go.
I hope
then
so.
Somebody else can take over for me, and then you're going to still be here a while. All right, the Boilermakers against Findlay will be on the internet, PurdueSports.com at 2 o'clock, and then the first regular season game is November 10th. That's at Western Kentucky. Our airtime on that will be 7:15. Thanks to our engineer, Wes Scott, our producer, Roger Forsyth, tonight. Again, we will be back here at Wolfies a week from tonight at 7:10 for the next edition of the Katie Gearlds Show. Until then, this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.